kind of botching moves here and there. Keep that buzz up, keep that gimmick up, the constant botching and the crazy no gimmick meets gimmick buzz. And yeah, Eli Cottonwood could be a serious contender.
That's an excellent point when you mention Waylon Mercy. Waylon Mercy, such a great gimmick, so underused, just not around long enough. But certainly if you catch some of his vignettes, I know he did in fact make one pay-per-view appearance. It doesn't stick there in the mind, but he certainly can be caught that way. Indeed, if you've never seen Waylon Mercy perform, wow, I mean, is all I can say. Everything from his promos to, of course, Dan Spivey's work was excellent. And indeed, yeah, that's the perfect call for Eli Cottonwood going forward, definitely. So there we had Eli Cottonwood blocking the sunset flip from Johnny Curtis and indeed gaining that pin. And Johnny Curtis not winning that match, Eli Cottonwood going over.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Johnny. You know, just let him job away. He does nothing for me. I want to see more Eli Cottonwood and work that gimmick big time.
Now the next big topic, we flagged it in our introduction, is that of Richie Steamboat. Very controversial. Richie Steamboat, of course, the son of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, having his debut match on Florida Championship Wrestling from the 21st of this month, and he defeated Donnie Marlowe with a crossbody.
Now, here's the problem. You've got two second-generation wrestlers, Richie Steamboat and this Donnie Marlowe buzz, son of Haku, or Ming, as we said. Richie Steamboat, son of Ricky Steamboat. Why, in God's name, do they continue to put over their old man's moves? You saw the headbutt from Marlowe and the Haku style, and then you see this fucking Richie Steamboat doing the crossbodies. I mean, the arm drags, the crossbodies, you know, I'm not down with it was the same with D.H. Smith. Let's do the running power stand. I mean, nobody wants to see him. I certainly didn't want to see him use that as a finisher. Joe Hennig with the perfect plex. We've seen Ted DiBiase use the $1 Million Dream. I mean, it's endless. So I just don't know why they even bother.
Richie Steamboat, as we said, the son of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, making his debut on Florida Championship Wrestling this week. And certainly my thoughts echoing Stevens on this one. I'm not too sure why you're going to bring in a guy who's the son of a former wrestler and give him that same moveset. I mean, Richie started that match with those infamous, famous, perhaps is a better word, Ricky Steamboat arm drags. You see, I'm already making that mistake. Isn't that infringing a bit on Ricky Steamboat's gimmick? I mean, he worked last year's Wrestlemania, right?
Yeah, it is, I think. It's just, I don't know. I mean, even you could have the argument the other side of it. If they didn't do any of those moves and didn't do any of those finishers, would people say, why doesn't he do some arm drags, or why doesn't he do some cross bodies? He's never going to be as good as his old man. Maybe the kids are trying to prove a point, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the finishers might be not the way forward, you know?
Well, certainly I would hope to not see Richie Steamboat breathing fire and wearing that dragon headdress because, well, we've seen that one before. And indeed, with wrestling repeating so many of its bad mistakes these days, we don't want to see all this stuff retread once again on WWE television. But indeed, everyone is going to have an opinion on Richie Steamboat. Who knows how long it's going to be before he debuts. But just coming off that big debut on the 21st of March on FCW, apparently the news was that Richie has suffered an injury now. And indeed, his career getting started, but unfortunately slowing down a bit with that injury.
No, you certainly don't want that. Was it bad?
When I read the story, it of course was taken with a pinch of salt, but it certainly was more negative. They were basically saying he could be out for a while. Don't expect to see him on TV for a bit.
Oh boy, on his debut. That's not too good for poor Richie. Might be bad karma with the moves or something, was it?
That's exactly what it could have been.
Could have been.
FCW continued with another Abraham Washington segment. Now, Abraham Washington, of course, spent a couple of months on ECW doing those interview segments. And indeed, they were never that funny or entertaining. Of course, the exception to that rule being the man with the laughing gimmick, Tony Atlas.
Yeah, poor Tony, we miss him. But I actually enjoyed this one with Alex Riley. I'm liking this Alex Riley gimmick, the kind of, primetime jock mofo, which pretty much is what it is, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly how I thought of it.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good and a funny promo between the two of them, and I wasn't even too put off by Oksana, or if that's the girl's name, and that really annoying laugh. Why she's there, God knows. But yeah, I liked it, and I like what's his face, Alex Riley.
Alex Riley, another man that I've just seen for the first time this week. Maybe I did see him before, but this week more than ever paying attention with that spotlight right on him for that Abraham Washington segment. And indeed, even Abraham, if that's his real name, seems a little bit embarrassed by that diva Oksana. She really doesn't ever get those laughs in at the right time. She just has no comic timing whatsoever. But perhaps why they picked her was for that very reason. I mean, certainly I couldn't say Atlas had better comic timing. Doesn't mean he was any less funnier.
It's very true. Yeah, I do agree with you in that. Yeah, she's not. She doesn't really do much for it, to be honest. I don't know why she's still there. I actually just have no idea. But yeah.
You know what I thought was funny as well on this Abraham Washington segment? In the middle of it, now I bet Abraham Washington probably thinks he's the big cheese around FCW. He's been on the main television. He knows that he's got, some TV time in there, and that perhaps in the future he'll be going back there. But he called Alex Riley a fool in the middle of this interview. Now, I know apparently they have some kind of comic duo. They've done these segments for a long time, apparently. But you're not going to call a guy a fool. You're trying to get him over.
Yeah, he had some funny ones on that promo, and he kind of he was just a weird guy to watch. He's quick though. He can be pretty quick, and that's what I liked about him too. Some of the lines were very, very fast, and I never really enjoyed him on ECW. And I did like the kind of Obama gimmick thing that they had running. That was kind of cool. I think more of that would have been good, but he's not even the greatest talker, and he's not the greatest person on the mic. And even bringing him up on ECW was a bit questionable. And now that he's back down on FCW, is still questionable. I just don't even know where this is going to end up with him. Give me the sax man any day.
The man of sax, one of our favourites, Byron Saxton, and that's all we ever say about him. But indeed, we do like to hear him on the FCW commentary. He's a good broadcaster. You can't deny it. I mean, I'd certainly always prefer even him than Mike Tenay, I have to say. I mean, I'm just really fed up with Mike Tenay at this stage. I think time has come now that they sort of refreshed the commentary booth. That's our FCW wrap up for this week. That was Florida Championship Wrestling, which aired on the 21st of March 2010 on the Bright House Sports Network. And certainly big thanks to the capper G-Man 35. He knows who he is. He's out there recording FCW for the masses to make sure that we get a chance to see it.
Yeah, good work. Keep it up.
We're having fun tonight on Wrestledope, and indeed it can only get rowdier, I think. Certainly thanks for joining us on the Wrestledope channel. We got a couple of viewers in there, and there are some people talking. As usual, we have our good friend FireSoul86 from Scotland, thanks to you, and indeed our other friend, Amazingly Davey, he's with us, and another viewer in there, DTM93, very glad you could join us. And well, there's a few more people. We got Dutty Link as well, thanks to you, Dutty, for being on board tonight.